Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of EdTech on the Street in the City That Never Sleeps, our Noida office edition. Today I am joined by our Vice President of Human Resources, Shagun.
Hi. Hi.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thank you. Thanks for having me here.
I'm excited to get into our discussion, but as our viewers know, before we get super serious, we always do an icebreaker.
Sure.
So, if you were a flower, what flower would you be and why?
Oh, sunflower.
A sunflower? Why?
Yeah, and why? Because it follows the direction of the sun. Sun gives you power. So I think I would always want to align myself to that energy, the energy that sun gives. So if wishes were true, I would always would have wanted to be a sunflower.
That's so deep, and it's funny enough because someone else also said sunflower.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I was like, I'm not thinking about sunflowers deep enough. I don't know. So you need to look at a sunflower again and think about what you just said.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, I'm excited to get into our discussion today and really just hear your perspective beyond like magic, what we do here, and also from your experience and your previous roles. So starting with our first question. From your perspective, what is the biggest change you're seeing in how learners engage with digital education today versus maybe a few years ago?
Yeah, it's a very deep question, so to say, and I've been thinking about it for some time now. And the way I am observing it across in the industry, I think it's not about volume anymore. Okay, so I am not bothered as a learner. I'm not bothered about the number of courses that I complete. I am more bothered about the impact or the learning that's going to give to me. So it's more outcome driven. Okay, and learners are looking for modules or learnings which are more personalized. Okay, so you of course have all platforms which are highly personalized, talk about Netflix and all that, and people do not have the patience. So learner is looking for something which is personalized, which of course leads to an outcome, and it's just not about volume or completion. I think that's what a learner is looking about. So I feel there is a change in this particular aspect, the way a learner thinks now about the about whatever he's actually consuming as content.
So it's more, I don't want to say selfish, but they know that there's the options available to get more unique to them. So they want that rather than what is maybe a general certificate.
Absolutely. It has to be personalized to their needs so that they can actually drive an outcome, learning outcome out of that.
Which is, the learning outcome is just the end goal. Bigger picture, I feel at Magic we at least focus on as like the number one
Yes,
thing.
we do. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great to hear. Okay, so moving on to our next question. AI, of course.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
It's every day. Yeah.
So especially in ed tech, and we're talking about it internally and also in how we build our products and solutions. So where do you think it's genuinely improving the learning and still where it may be overhyped or just not contributing effectively?
See, AI is contributing in a lot of ways, and I think you would agree with me on that, and our audiences would also agree with that. So of course, it's just not a buzzword, it is creating an impact. The areas where I see, in fact, as per my observation, I think the first thing is, and I'm connecting it to the first question that you had asked, it's helping us personalize content. Okay, so I think that's something which really AI is helping us with. Second is, it is helping the instructors and the teachers in preparing the curriculum, in kind of designing it. So I think it is really helping us there. It is helping us in a lot of other ways. For example, making the content more accessible. Okay, converting it from text to speech, from speech to text, making it more inclusive as well, right? So I think these are some of the areas where AI is actually creating a lot of impact and helping us as a learner, and I think it's here to stay. So so if I want to kind of push a content, if I do not know a language as a learner, I can still AI can translate that for me, and I can learn that module or that course or anything which is coming onto my table. So I think it is making it faster. So I think that certainly is something that AI is helping us with, in the industry at this stage.
So really helping lead into that kind of global classroom approach.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's kind of creating, very rightly put, Kiara. So it's actually creating this global classroom where where we have diverse learners, and it's making it more inclusive as well.
Yeah, which is great. I know it's kind of slowly becoming I don't want to say hype term, but I'm seeing it more and more come up. But I don't think there's a better way to describe it than global classroom.
Absolutely, you bang on. Yes, that's right. That's right.
Cool.
And we're becoming a global community of learners.
Yeah.
And I think hence it's very fast and effective.
Yeah. No, I love that as someone who's a language person. I just love the ability to think that I could engage with a classroom in India while also just stay.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, but then there's certain drawbacks too, Kiara.
Of course.
Right. So, and I would like to put one of them,
please.
which is that, now if we feel that AI is going to replace teachers, professors, or instructors, it's not going to do that. Right? It's going to be a combination of AI plus, these teachers, instructors, or, whoever is actually, teaching or kind of providing that knowledge. So it has to be a combination. So it's always going to be AI plus human. Okay. And I think that's where the combination is going to create an impact. So I think if we feel that it's going to just, wash away the presence of these people, no, it will not. I think, in fact, two of them put together is going to create a very strong combination for learners to come.
Right. So always keeping the human in the loop.
Yes, has to. And because we're talking about learning, so it has to follow the neurological, the neurology part, and hence emotions and everything put together, right? So human aspect has to be there along with AI.
Of course. And that's actually a perfect segue into our next question, talking about humans and now how maybe jobs are evolving with AI now to keep that human in the loop and what that shift is looking like. What role should EdTech play, or maybe AI help in building real world learning solutions or job ready skills that are not just the checklist?
Yeah. So your question in itself creates, has the answer to this. It's the checklist. Okay. Checklist is it's not about completion alone. Okay. I've completed a course as a student or a learner, and that's about it. I've completed 20 courses and that's about it. No, I think that's not, that's not something which will help us in the near future or at this stage. I think the focus of EdTech companies should be to drive learning, which is not about completion, but it is about capability building. Okay. So I think capability building is going to be the biggest aspect in which an EdTech company like ours or any other EdTech company can actually help the learner across the globe, right? So it's not about the volume of learnings that I've done, but how is it that I am able to grab that learning and then convert that into an outcome or the impact. So it's not about how many courses have I completed. It's more about what problem was I able to solve by upskilling myself on this particular aspect. Okay, so I think that's something which will really differentiate us and will create an impact. So I think we should certainly, and of course the content has to be changed over time. It cannot be that we host something and it stays on for long. It certainly has to be very dynamic in nature. And I think these are few aspects that we should be taking care of, and this will help the EdTech companies. And it has to be in line with what the industry needs. Okay, so maybe EdTech companies need to weave it in the curriculum and all that, and take the industry advice as well. So I think these are some things that I would suggest the industry does.
Yeah, I think it was an excellent point that you said in terms of upskilling it so it's what the industry actually needs.
Yes.
Because we had the CEO of CareerSpan on our other channel at Tech Connect, and they're all about looking beyond the traditional resume and more towards the actual skills that people have. And we were talking about how some educational courses or upskilling courses are what the company thinks that person needs rather than what the industry is looking for.
Yes, that's right.
So then how do companies find that balance versus what they think the learner needs to do and what is actually needed in the job market?
So, so I believe that it is very important that when an organization says that, okay, this is what my people need, as a competence or as a skill. It shouldn't be very internal focus, right? Whenever we do that, it has to be in line with the role that people are playing. Right?
Okay.
And roles, if you look at it, they are across in the industry, right? They're not specific to an organization, right? So if there is a role, like for example, if I say that I as an organization I have a role by the name Scrum Master, then what are the competencies or skills that are required for that role across in the industry? Okay, so it's not about what I need internally in the organization, but what is it that is required to make that person successful in that particular role. So I think the skills have to be in line with the roles. And that's how you can bring it at par with what the industry needs, because every role has a particular set of skills which are required to play that effectively. Right. So that's what I think about this.
No, I think it's great advice, kind of finding like a happy medium blend between the two, setting up for long-term success. This is really good. Well, moving into our last question, talking about long-term success trends in the future.
Yeah.
What should educators, institutions, or ed tech companies be focusing on right now to stay ahead?
I think they should, at this stage, be just focusing on learners and should only be focusing on capability building of learners. The focus should be that the learner should be able to identify that this is where I stand when it comes to my current skills. This is where I want to be, and here is the gap. And to bridge that gap, these are the things that I need to do. So so learning has to be outcome driven. It comes to the same point. Okay, it has to be outcome driven, and all the edtech companies need to understand that. It's not about my product or service. It's not about the number of features I put onto that. It's just not about that. Of course, it makes a difference, but then the end goal is the impact or the skill gap. Are you able to bridge the skill gap that the learner had? I think that's what all the edtech companies should absolutely work on, because that's going to generate the impact. And if they want to take help of AI, that's going to be faster. So we'll be able to see that change faster. So I think this is what I feel.
Right. I think that's perfect because you kind of went full circle there back to our first question. That's why that's all connected.
It's all connected. It's all connected, and I think that's the best way to describe the current situation. And it has to be impact driven. I mean, we need to have that in mind as an end goal.
Right. That's perfect. Before we close out, though, I want to ask, do you have any other advice, tips, tricks that you would like to leave with us before we close out today? I mean, you already went full circle, so I'm like, what else is this? I want to hear it all, basically, Shagun.
No, it's lifelong learning, okay? And this is just not about an edtech company or edtech as an industry. I would say at an individual level, whoever is listening to it, because there are individuals who will be listening to it. At the individual level, I think this is the right time and the best time to upskill oneself, and I think we should stay hungry for that, and be lifelong learners. I seriously believe in that. I think, and I'll leave that as an advice or as a suggestion to all whoever is watching this and whoever is not. I would still say that we should go ahead and learn and upskill ourselves and do whatever we can in terms of skilling and staying relevant, and that's very important in the current scheme of things, and that will shape our future. So I think a lot has to be put in the present to look forward to a good future, and that's my only advice, Kiara.
This is perfect advice. I'm just gonna leave it at that because she killed it. Well, perfect. Thank you so much, Shagun.
Thank you for having me.
That was really informative. I learned a lot. Enjoyed chatting with you today, and I do hope our listeners are hungry for that lifelong learning.
Keep your hunger on.
Yeah.
And keep learning.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.